Hello and welcome to episode 8 of our Puppet Master series. Last time we swept through the Balkans, we've added Hungary, Yugoslavia and Bulgaria to our collection of puppets, but Greece has remained independent so far. The island of Crete is protected by the Royal Navy, so until they are dealt with, it's probably going to be a bit of a struggle for us to actually conquer Greece. In this episode we're turning north. Denmark, Sweden and Norway are our targets, and I don't really expect much trouble from them either, but let's see how it goes. Okay, and now we find our SS army and move into Denmark. Oh, another landing in Greece, and this time it looks like the Italians have managed to fight off the Royal Navy, so hopefully Crete will fall pretty soon. And we don't need to guard that anymore. But we might as well send them up here. Actually, I'm going to... got those guys going after Crete, but I'm thinking I'm not really going to need my powerful allies, particularly Spain and France with their fleets, and Italy, so I might order them to just attack UK, and I'll send my fleet on the offensive as well, and hopefully they'll make something of it. They'll start landing somewhere in the UK, which I'll then be able to exploit while my SS will be trouncing through Denmark and Sweden and Norway. And of course Sweden I think has actually got a pretty decent fleet itself, and I won't fight them very... I suppose if I set my Obercommander Europe to offensive, then they probably will actually fight them. But other than that, I shouldn't hopefully kill too many of their ships. Anyway, OB Europe, next target. Let's do all three since we're here. Copenhagen, Stockholm and Oslo. Oh, it looks like the Italians have been defeated. That sucks. But how close are you to surrendering anyway? Down to 78.4. So our spies will actually manage to break them pretty soon. So let's, you guys can stop. And I will order you though to focus on London as your next target. Spain, Italy, France. Might as well go Belgium as well. They've got a bit of a fleet, but... and Yugoslavia. And their job is to try and land on the UK somewhere. Naval offensive, go. Nope, France, you're on your own. And then here I'll order everybody but France, Italy, Belgium and nationalist Spain and Yugoslavia. They can do all the work up in the north here. Oh, not Yugoslavia. Hungary, Luxembourg, that'll do. And did I tell... Nope, I told nobody to go on that because that's not their capital. Here. Okay, lost another destroyer flotilla. Oh, we've won a battle in the West Central Mediterranean Sea. Makes a nice change. And who are these people in Africa? Just join the nearest corps, which fortunately are all pretty nearby. Toronto though, I'll just find OB Africa and you can join them directly. Somewhere, there. Very last option. Okay, my SS are starting to arrive near Denmark. We lost another destroyer flotilla. Now there's research of the flying bomb, which I suppose we'll get on to fairly soon. I might as well go have a look at it now. 1942 soon. Actually, I think things like mechanised offensive, the 1941 rocket carriers and sights, so we're not getting ahead of ourselves. Lost another destroyer flotilla. Still at least one transport ship. And some submarines there. Oh, Polish Navy's actually here as well, although Polish doesn't have a coast anymore. Greece almost surrendered, down to 77.8. Oh, and here's all of our troops arriving. 60 hours, 35, 60... Oh, actually those aren't SS divisions at all. SS is all ready to go, that's the main thing. And I have a diplomat en route to Denmark, so I can't declare war on them until the 23rd of February. That's really unfortunate. I'm always tempted at points like this to, save the game, load it up as Britain to see how many convoy ships they have left. Because I know I don't have a lot, but I keep hearing theirs sinking, so they can't have a lot either. And I'll have some soon, and I need some. And although I think most of these are supply, well, a lot of these are supply convoys, but these troops, what am I thinking? Supplies, resources would be very useful. Lost a cruiser. We lost a submarine flotilla. Oh, we might be able to declare war on Denmark now. Yep. Puppet them. And we will just go straight through like that, and hopefully their fleet doesn't block us from jumping from one island to the next. Electronic computing machine is too advanced. And then one more and we'll get all of our 1942 technologies. Oh, I might as well do it now. I'm here, let's go. Don't need radar anymore because I'm not building any. Agriculture though. Oh, and what was that one? Destroyer escort roll, too advanced. Supply production we'll do. Secret, the flying bomb, might as well. Theory, all of them. Well, all of the three that we actually do. Land, most of them. Delay doctrine, integrated support, infantry warfare, actually this whole block. And naval, nope. Air, yes, lots. There'll be lots of 1942s, but not many 1943s for us. Fighters, 41s and 40s. Bombers, same, still 41s. 1942 in battleships though. And some of the destroyers. I'm pretty sure I just cancelled one of those, but it's just starting back up. Well, it's only barely not too far ahead. 1942, lots here. And artillery, and then infantry, yes, and engineers, and not mechanised infantry. I almost clicked there. We'll get airborne warfare equipment fairly soon because airborne infantry is not too far behind. Crete's not too far. No, that'll happen sometime soon. Fighting in Denmark, we won easily. So let's head into Copenhagen. Whoops. And then once we've done that, Sweden. And then Norway. And Sweden's a nice colourful blue, so that will add a bit to our army. And actually our army feels a bit weak without the French and the Italians helping us out. Well, the French mainly, the Italians aren't helping all that much anyway to start with. Man, my SS aren't even their first troops into this Copenhagen island, which I think is called Zealand. Won't be the first people onto Zealand. And that's going to go to the 17th Panzer Division, who then attacks Copenhagen against the 1st Zealand Division. So yes, I think it is called Zealand. Education and fire control systems, both too advanced. We'll take Copenhagen soon, and then we'll also get Iceland and Greenland and the Faroe Islands, hopefully. Yep, puppet. And yes, we did take all of those. I'll wait till our SS is all in position, and then we'll start fighting Sweden. Just hoping one of those fleets would have transport ships and troops all waiting to land in the UK, but not yet. Small fuel tank, way too advanced. I'm assuming command decision making as well. Yep. And our SS are in position. I haven't even looked how we're going to win this war, but we're starting a war with Sweden. So where do we have to go? Straight over there, and probably one corps up that coast, and the other one actually following a pretty similar route, but just veering off towards the capital. If that works with the terrain. Yep. Actually, they might both veer to about there, and then one head north. So we'll do it like this. Oops. And we'll get everybody. And head north to Göteborg. And then into Örebro. And then we'll send the first corps from there straight to the capital. And the second corps will head... Oh, we're going to bypass Karlstad. Head straight to Fallon. And hopefully the computer and everybody will keep up with us. I'll tell these guys I don't need to defend Copenhagen anymore. Well, when is my June south-propelled rocket artillery? I just think it would have been very useful to have them in this battle. And all three of those, four of those, too advanced. Jet engine, that's handy, not ready for one more year. Well, it's my next year's thing, which will probably be in 1942 since there are lots of 1942 technologies to research in 1941. We're killing these soldiers. The organisation is dropping very slowly though, so it's going to be a while till we can actually cross over into Sweden here. We've got lots of allies coming to back us up for when we do get across. Spotting is too advanced. Bulgaria is sending some troops to help. I think Bulgaria actually has a very large army, it's just not a very good army. We lost a transport flotilla off the coast of Africa. It actually looks like we've been losing quite badly in Africa. But I'll have more troops heading that way very soon, which will hopefully be able to turn things around, although they will need transport ships. Oh, commerce defence. Is that worth getting? May as well. I do have convoy escorts. What was that? Battle fleet concentration. And twin engine aircraft armaments, both too advanced. Oh, we're starting to make progress here. And landing in Sweden. So many troops coming over, which is good. It means that my SS troops, their backs will be pretty well covered. There's probably still a few more days before we can cross over. There we go, got into Malmo. And now we're heading north. And all their allies will cross over to cover our backs. Because for some reason the German troops are hanging way back. Actually, is Denmark helping out at this point? Or they must be. Yes, they are. And the SS have already broken through the Swedish front lines. They're just going to be heading into the rear towards the capital. Submarine crew training, can get rid of that. Unrestricted submarine warfare must be coming soon. Yep, there's unrestricted submarine warfare available to be researched. But I'm guessing basing and trade interdiction are too advanced, so get rid of them. So many allies. Oh, capture the Oresund gives us a slight bonus to leadership. and also supplies plus 10%, which is also very good. But the leadership's the main thing I'm interested in, although it was only a very small bonus. Yeah, I suppose when you add all the improvements on, it adds up a bit. Because well, it's plus 45%, so it's 0.15, so no, it doesn't actually add up to much at all. Oh, I've got some Germans here to cover my rear, which is very good because I'm starting to get a bit extended with my SS troops, but there aren't a lot of Swedish troops to actually stop them. And I think Norway's going to be really... Oh, yeah, Norway only got 1 victory point, so that'll be very easy to do. I thought Narvik was as well, but I figured I can get troops right up into here. Seems like I don't even have to do that, just got to capture straight across there. And at that point, all I'll have left to do is fight the United Kingdom, or the Soviet Union. And I feel like this United Kingdom must be getting worn down. It's probably just wishful thinking, but they are losing a lot of convoy ships, and their fleets are in battles a lot. And I see, well, there's a Danish navy around here, and my own, and France I see occasionally. There's some French. Don't see the Spanish or the Italians, but they're fighting the British in the Mediterranean. And Greece, 98.9% towards surrendering. And that sounded like one of my convoys sinking, but... Oh no, I did have 20 ships briefly. I do have some convoys going. So yeah, that probably was one of my convoys sinking. And how close is Sweden to surrendering? Just asking, because I might have to head back and grab Karlstad. Possibly. What resources does Sweden have? I thought there's a special resource up there. It is tungsten, which I think gives a bonus to attack, and here we have ball bearings. What does ball bearings do? Repair speed plus 15% is good. And do I have tungsten? I already have tungsten. Hard percent plus 15. From Salamanca and Castelo Branco. So I'm not actually getting any resources from this invasion of Sweden. Actually no, I'll gain lots of resources, but none special ones. Fighters. Small navigation radar. And I actually don't need large air search radar. I don't know why I'm researching it. Because I don't have any strategic bombers or transports. And even transports I don't really need to improve their ability to attack at night. Okay, we're attacking Stockholm. And these guys are moving into Falun. I might just detach one to Karlstad. Probably not you since you're leading the attack. I'll detach you to Karlstad. Although Sweden's obviously going to be overrun. They've got very few soldiers left. And we're just going to have to capture Stockholm. And hopefully that'll be it. And actually it looks like Sweden's army is about to be destroyed. Which means they won't be much good as an ally, but they will be giving us resources. Actually I should also say another thing about puppets is that they give you a lot of resources. Not enough rare metals though. But hopefully Sweden will help with that. But I'm getting a lot of coal, a lot of energy, no oil, no rare materials, but still it helps, it takes a bit of the burden off me. And I'm pretty sure, as I said earlier, like they are much more efficient at getting resources out of their own territories than I would be if I'd conquered them. Well, they want 2 Hamburg-class destroyers. Of course, Denmark, you may have 2 destroyers, or 2 destroyer flotillas. So long as you use them to help me defeat the UK, which I'm sure you will do. And I think we've conquered all of Sweden but Karlstad. No, we're missing something. It's just Karlstad. Oh, and there's one spot north of Stockholm. I guess we'll take that. Which actually is a lot of... Actually, it's worth as much as Stockholm itself. So there we go. Then we get the SS and move them to... right near Oslo. Charlottenburg will be good enough. And someone got left behind. Oh well. Inefficient researched, air launched torpedo, yep. Ooh, we've won a battle over here. Well, our destroyer squadron won a battle over here. So it mustn't have been against a very powerful British fleet. And Rommel is just sitting in Africa. Not doing anything, but he is pretty badly outnumbered. And Italy's not supporting him at all. Although Italy's not really in a position to support much. So we've got one SS division here. I'm sure the others will arrive soon enough. And where are all those people going? Heading north. Looks like they're going to fortify the border with Finland. And, well, Soviet Union's a much bigger threat than Finland, but okay. Oh, there we go, we've puppeted Greece. So I can send my spies somewhere else now. You may as well do... No, you might just sit there for now. London, Stockholm and Oslo are our objectives. And then once we've taken Norway, that's kind of all of our, well, at least our immediate goals. Just going to have to try and get enough ships to land in the UK. And of course start fortifying against the Soviet Union much more than we are. They'll both be way too advanced. Coal to oil and aero engine. How much coal are we converting to oil? None. We've got plenty of oil actually. And we've got even more fuel, so we don't actually really need to. We will at some point though. Lost a transport flotilla. It's not great. But hopefully they were off doing something useful. Like trying to land troops in the UK. It's actually really good now that we can base it off Denmark, because it allows me to get way down into here. Although we always could from Spain, so... When I say Denmark, I mean Iceland and Greece. So we managed to conquer Denmark and Sweden. Denmark was no problem at all. Well, it turns out Sweden was a bit of a problem, just crossing into Malmo, which took... I think it took as long to cross into Malmo as it did to conquer the entirety of Bulgaria, for example. So that was actually a bit of a challenge, but never really in doubt. Haven't quite got around to invading Norway yet, but I will in a second. Also managed to get Greece to come onto our side thanks to the actions of our spies. So another episode gone, and 3 more puppets to add to our cause. I'm actually starting to run out of space on my title screen, so I'm going to have to figure out somewhere novel to put them. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.